And honestly, I can't remember the last time I used ChatGPT for coding because it has always sucked with coding. It doesn't know how to code for shit. It doesn't know how to code. I'm serious. Anyone that has time should test the difference between Claude. I don't know if you know of Claude AI, and the ask just another LLM how to fix this error. So you take a screenshot of that error and put in another LLM and describe what's going on. Say, I'm on bold.new. I tried to do this, blah, 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 and I ran into this error. Can you fix this error? And it's going to tell the solution. So that's something that Claude does really well.
Welcome to another episode of People in Tech podcast, where we explore the stories, trends, and innovations shaping the tech industry. I'm your host, Suzoka, and today I have a very special guest, someone I've known from my school days. In fact, we were roommates at a point, although we haven't been in how many years? We left school in 2012, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, about 2012. So that's way over 10 years. He
Mm-hmm.
took a rather unconventional path into tech, transitioning from being a medical doctor to a software engineer and now working in AI. Now, my
Yes.
guest today is Ayokunle. Oh my goodness, I hope I remember your last name, Ayokunle Ademola.
Yes. Ademola John, yes.
Interesting, I do. Welcome to the show, Ayo, my
Thank you
guy.
so much. Bro. Thank you, Jeff. It's been a while. It's been a long time. It's been a
Very
long
long
time.
time.
It's been a long time coming. Yeah, it's good to be here. It's good to be on your. It's good to be on your podcast. I'm honored to share this platform with you.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much. Now, your journey is one for the books. And of course, you don't hear every time of people switching from medicine to AI. But I want
Yeah.
us to go to the beginning. What led you
hmm
first to pick medicine as a choice for study?
Oh yeah, that's a very good question. Well, the I think the first thing would be the background that I came from. I think for me, I was exposed um, very early to intellectual stuff. My dad is in the academia. My mom is also in the academia. So they're both people who believed that, oh, you should be educated and should read your books and all that kind of stuff. So, and early on, my dad used to take me to maybe the clinic, hospitals, and I was very curious about some of those things. So um eventually I told him I'm going to be a doctor one day. That's what I used to tell him when I was younger. And so all that culminated in my pursuing medicine and saying, oh, I want to be a doctor has always been my childhood dream because this is something I was curious about. So
Yeah.
that's why I chose medicine in the first place. So it was not something that my parents forced on me or suggested to me, even though they were very happy because
Which Nigerian
being a dog.
parents will be happy about
Exactly.
medicine?
Being a doctor or an engineer in Nigeria is like,
Very big deal.
this is the best thing you can do with your life. What an amazing son, what an amazing kid.
Wise
So
young man.
exactly. So we're very excited about that. But then went to Benedion, had my struggles there, left there, then moved to
But I
Europe.
don't think you struggled academically. If I remember correctly, you were probably one of the most
not
brilliant
not
people.
Yeah, not exactly academically, but the whole system, the whole,
Not
yeah.
knowing exactly
And
how many
then
years you would study for.
exactly, so the accreditation, remove accreditation today,
So
put
put it back.
accreditation tomorrow.
So you put
So
it
all
back.
those, exactly, exactly. So all of those struggles, I said, okay, let me actually move to another country and pay more or less the same tuition I was paying then, moving
Which
to
country
a
was that?
different country that,
Georgia.
to Georgia. Yeah. So that was how I moved to Georgia, started medicine, went through the whole process, and then I think everything changed just before COVID, and that was the time I was trying out all these new things. Back in uni, I think towards the end of my uni, I started working in one of those BPOs. Um, it's like a call center, business
Sorry,
process
hold on, Eli.
outsourcing.
There's something I want to point out, right? That
Yeah,
just came back to my memory. I remember one time we were
yeah,
in the room and you said something to me that I've told many other people. I'm not even sure if you
yeah,
remember. Just before you, I think when you were going to, when you had made the decision to leave
yeah.
Canada, then you were
Mm-hmm.
at the verge of writing a particular exam that
Yeah.
was going to decide whether you move to 200 or 300 level. I can't remember.
Oh,
At
yeah, yeah,
first,
yeah.
you were one of the few people who had even made it across, right? So
Yeah.
like you had a slot and you were
Uh-huh.
going to sacrifice it, and then I asked you why you were not sitting for the exam, and then you
Yeah.
said you were burning every bridge, meaning if Georgia did not work out,
Yeah.
I was, my mind, I was like, what kind of human being is this? And to date, I tell people that if you are going want to take something seriously, just burn the bridge behind you.
You have to go all in. It's
All
it's
in.
all or nothing. Yeah, it's all or nothing because I remember that thing I told you was as a result of the story I read at that time. I don't remember specifically what war it was right now, but because it was a long time ago. But it was a story I read. I think it was about Napoleon Bonaparte and his soldiers. I'm not sure exactly, so don't quote me on this. But the story was that he had taken these soldiers across a bridge to go fight. It was like
Sorry, sorry,
a
there was
like
a
a
week there. You
wooden.
said the story was that what?
Yeah. It was a story about how he took his soldiers across a bridge to another country to go and fight, but it
Like
was like a wooden bridge,
ah
right? And then when they crossed to the other side, he touched the bridge, or he asked someone to touch the bridge, that's to set it on fire.
yes, set on fire.
And by the time they touched the bridge, the soldiers were shocked. They were surprised, like, "Ah, what's going on? Why you? This is our way back home. This is the only way back." And he was like, "That's the whole point. We're not going back. So it's either we win or we
Or we
die.
die.
So there's no other way back." And so that has always been my mindset about a lot of things. No plan B, just plan A, head first, and just put everything you've got and throw it at it. And then I think that's the best way to see results rather than half-ass the stuff. If it's not working, oh, I have something else. I have my daddy will give me money, or my
Yeah.
my mommy will give me money, or something. You already have backups, so to speak. So that has always been my mindset about a lot of things, and I think that has also been my mindset with what I decided to do,
To do.
especially, yeah, when all of those things came to me that I really actually like doing this stuff. So I was explaining
Yeah, BPO.
how. Yeah, so when I started working with that BPO, I figured I don't want to work for these people for the rest of my life. Let me think of a way to actually do this thing myself, because they were making a lot of money. It was a huge company. Well, they had like more than 100 employees. So I was like, maybe this thing is actually possible for me to do. And these people that are actually the owners of this company, they don't have two heads. So I started asking around, watching YouTube
Oh my god.
videos, yeah, researching. I said, this thing is possible, though, but they say you need a website to start this thing. You need to put yourself on social media so that people can know that you actually have a business process outsourcing company, so that people can contact you if they have their own business that they need support for, or they need call center operations for, they can contact you. So I started thinking, how can I build a website? I went on YouTube. The thing looked complicated. I said, God, what am I going to do now? I wish I could do this thing. So I called up one of my friends, Lincoln. Shout out to, he calls himself Lincoln, but his name is Lincoln. And I called him. I was like, bro, I need a website. How can you help me build a website? I'm ready to pay you. And he was like, bro, I don't want to take your money. I'm busy right now. I have so much on my plate, but I'll send you some links. You can follow those links and you can build a website yourself. I was like, okay, thank you. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. So he sent me those links, sent me some materials. That was how I went down the rabbit hole of web design, but with WordPress. So I
Okay.
started learning. Yeah, that's how I started learning WordPress. That was how I started going down. Learn WordPress. What is this? Admin user log in, log out. Hey, that's how I started going. So that was the beginning, and then I built my first site, and then I started building a couple of other things with on WordPress. Most of everything I was doing at that time was on WordPress. I was just learning, building personal projects, and then COVID hit, and those things became so popular,
Hmm.
so popular that I was now like, it's not this thing I was just playing around with that everyone is now talking about. Oh, building your business online, setting up this, setting up that. So I found that there was a need. A lot of people were requesting for websites to be built for them. But the problem was I only had very little skill. I didn't really know much about, you know, commercializing my skill. I only knew how to build it and to help myself to build my own projects. So a friend too contacted me. I was like, bro, I need to build this, I need to build that. Can you help me? I was like, yeah, I think I can help you build a simple website. And he was like, okay, no wala. How much is it? How much is it? I say, okay, give me $200. He was like, okay, send me your account. I said like that. That was my first job, and
What year
he
was
paid
that?
me 200.
2020.
That was in 2020, yes. 2020, and the end of 2020.
2020.
It's the end of 2020, yes. Israel. He sent me the money immediately. He was like, okay, help me. I built the site. A few broken things here and there. Not
Which which
too.
um which host service
Oh, it
were
was
you using?
Namecheap. Namecheap was my first hosting service and my first domain name service. I was buying everything and hosting everything on there, even
Okay, so
though
edit.
because it's cheap.
Yeah.
It's cheaper than most services. So it was, and they sell almost all the domain names except maybe for like, .ng or some
Yeah.
of the African ones. Yeah, they have almost all the other .com and .co.uk. All those ones they have them. So Namecheap was my go-to. They have very affordable hosting. You can host a lot of websites for free email services for all your sites. They had you could get your SSL from wherever you wanted. They didn't really care. They tried to upsell you, but if you don't buy from them and you decide to install a third party when they don't care, you can connect to Cloudflare if you want. So it was perfect for me. And they have 24-hour support. So anytime I had like an issue with a client's website while trying to maybe install or put it on the server, and I have an issue, I'll just text them on live chat and they respond immediately and be like, oh, this is how to solve it, or they even solve it for you.
Mm-hmm.
So it was great at that time because, someone who's just learning. I find most of these services have ticket support. They don't have like live chat on their site where you can just go in there and ask questions, and they give you replies immediately. So that was perfect. And after doing that, I started talking to people. Things were just moving so quickly at that point. I was just talking to a lot of people about, how when you just find out something new, you want to
Yeah.
tell everybody, right? So I was going out, I was telling, oh, guy, as I be do website, oh, if you get a website, if you know anybody who wants a website, so I was just telling everybody, all my friends knew that AY is not a tech guy. AY is not a tech guy. Just because I could do WordPress, WordPress sites, and then I had another friend who I was talking to, and she was like, "Oh, my sister wants to do an e-commerce website, blah blah blah. On they don't know what to do. She doesn't know exactly how to go about it." And I was like, that's interesting. Oh. I don't really know much about e-commerce. Okay, give me a day or two." So I went back to YouTube again, e-commerce sites. Started telling me about, okay, Shopify, blah 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 blah. And then I watched videos, I read articles. That's how I went into that e-commerce site. I say, okay, give me the project. I don't know how much or how long it's going to take, but I feel like I can deliver something to you. I can help you. What do you want to sell? I started asking questions about the e-commerce site. That was how I built my first e-commerce site too. Just try and error, guessing, building projects, and then I went.
Never
I
rejected job.
No, I never reject a job actually. So I actually never reject a job because so when I went through all this, but word of mouth was not enough. I was getting jobs here and there, and then I used to watch this guy Hassan on YouTube. He's I don't even know where he's from, but he lives in Canada, and he used to do all these tutorials, videos on how to build a business online, how to start your business online, how to start a blog, how to start a YouTube channel, how to monetize your skills, all of those kind of videos. That's what he used to do. So I started binging on this guy, watching this guy morning, afternoon, night. So on one of his videos, he said you should start freelance. If you want to monetize your skills, start freelance. So I was like, what is this freelance thing? So I started learning about freelance. And then he said Fiverr and Upwork. So I opened the two of them at the time. When I opened Fiverr, I started advertising on Fiverr, putting my profile on Fiverr and everything.
But were you
Actually,
paying
Fiverr started paying.
for
People on Fiverr started paying
advert
me,
on
and I
Fiverr?
had, yeah, I had. What was your question?
As far as did you pay for to get attention or pay for an advert on Fiverr?
For no, I didn't pay for ads on Fiverr. I just put my link, my profile on Fiverr. I
Yeah.
don't think I had to pay anything for Fiverr, but I was first a user on Fiverr, so I I I bought services for like logos, things that I was not too great at. I was buying those services from Fiverr. So logos and some design work, I was getting some of those from Fiverr. And then before I became a freelancer on Fiverr, I was using the service. So at the time when I even became a freelancer, I was doing both, using the service and also, you know, freelancing at the same time. But on Fiverr, I didn't pay. I didn't pay for ads or anything like that. But it was not too saturated. There were lots of clients. People were coming on there. So Fiverr was great. I made a couple $1,000s on Fiverr. The but for some reason they banned me from the platform. So they what's the word they
What was
use
the
now?
reason?
So I think because I'm not sure. I think that it was a conversation between myself and a client where she kept mentioning paying me with PayPal, paying me outside the platform. which is something I don't do. I usually don't do because the reason I don't do paying me off the platform is that the reason I don't do paying outside the platform is that all my growth, I want to be able to show it on the platform on my
Yeah,
profile.
it gives
Yeah,
credibility for
yeah. So if you pay me off the platform, yeah, that's money that we could have kept on the platform that I would have been able to show other people, other clients that look, this is money I've made on this platform. So that's why I really didn't like the idea of paying me off the platform, because while I keep more money, it's a disadvantage to the whole business I'm building. So you have to look at it from a holistic perspective and say, what is the end goal of actually having my building my profile on this platform is for me to be able to show to subsequent clients that
building
look,
credibility
yeah,
for
credibility,
other
that
clients.
exactly, without me having to send a lot of links of my portfolio or send a video of look at me building something. They already see that I've done this for 100 clients before
Yeah.
them, so they have the confidence that okay, you can do this. So she kept talking about that. Oh, I don't want to name the country. I'm from this country. I don't have money. Please help me. If you do this, I'll
How
pay
is
you.
not Nigeria?
She's not Nigerian, actually.
Okay.
She's from one of the Asian countries. So, she said, oh, I'll pay you after, but I don't have money now. But like, if you do the thing, I would. And that time, what I was offering was writing services. So I used to help people write, like proposal. So she wanted a grant proposal. So she said, when I write and she wins the grant, she will pay me from the grant money.
Really?
So we had that conversation. And I was like, look, I don't, I can't do this for you.
You want to
I
give
do
a
work.
grant for your
Yeah.
grant.
So I don't work pro bono. I can't do this kind of job for you. Kept begging and kept spamming me with, I'll pay you on PayPal, blah, 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 blah. You don't even have to pay the platform and everything. So I think they caught wind of that conversation with those their AI engines,
Yeah.
and then they just automatically banned my account. I appealed and appealed, but boom, it was gone. So, and at that time I had abandoned Upwork because I was like, this Upwork safe. It looks like it's not moving. it's not doing well. But where I had good clients, I just stuck to that one. So after they banned me on Fiverr, I was like, what can I do now? I decided to use my friend's Fiverr account that he was not using. I opened an account. I started using it. So, but that means I had to start from scratch. So it was not the same. Yeah, it was not the same. I even tried to go and catch some of my clients on my other account to come and find me on this new account, but it didn't work the same way.
Mm,
So after that failure on Fiverr, I said, what can I do now? So I went to Upwork. I started trying on Upwork, learning more about the platform. Then um, from there, I started posting. So brings me to that point where you said never reject jobs. When I went on Upwork, I started as a writer. So I started saying, oh, writer, writer, writer. Then they released, I think it was GPT 3, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was GPT 3.
yeah.
So everything went crazy. Everyone was talking about AIs and everything. Everything was going mad. I was like, and clients were no longer, you know,
Asking
coming
for
to you to
writing.
help. Yeah, asking for writing because everyone wanted to write their own blogs by themselves now. Everyone wanted to do their own writing by themselves. I
Because
was like,
of
what's
GPT.
going on? Two, three
Yeah.
days, nobody's contacting you to say hello. I need some articles written. So I started looking into.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so I was saying for 2 3 days you won't get jobs, you won't get even messages or offers. You would send a lot of proposals, you will use up a lot of connects, nothing was actually moving as far as writing was concerned on Upwork. So I said,
Mm.
something is wrong. So I started looking at other people's profiles, seeing what they were offering, seeing what actually aligned with my skills that I could offer. And then I started offering web and writing services. So, like writing blogs for your WordPress sites or for your. So, at least you get the so you get someone who understands the websites, so the WordPress websites, and can help you post your blogs directly, so they won't
Yeah.
just write the blogs and send it to you. So you have somebody who knows the back end and can just go there and
That's a
edit.
literal assistant. Just does it for
Yeah,
you.
yeah, so more or less like a virtual assistant,
Yeah.
that was what I was offering. But when I started doing that, I said, this I know more than just posting blogs for you on WordPress. I know a couple of other things too. So I added some of those things to my profile. But then I said, this was the introduction of my profile at that time. Jack of all trades, master of all. That was what I said. That was what I said on my profile at that time. I said, Jack of all trades, master of all. So if you have any kind of job, ask me first. I might be able to do it. So I'll get people texting me about, um, I have this business. I want to be sending emails. Do you know how to do? I even did cold emailing for a while. I was sending cold emails because somebody had contacted me and said they want to send out cold emails if I can help them set up a cold email system. That's how I started learning how to set up cold email systems. I went into the whole, so I had to set up for myself first, to learn how to actually do it for someone else. So I set up the whole email
Do
system
you need
on
AI for that?
at that time I didn't use AI. It was not AI based. It was, we already had all those AWS SES. We had the Amazon sending service. You could send services for cheap, and they also had all these Mautic and some other open source email sending services that you could use to send out emails. So the automations were run on those services, so you didn't need to do them manually or use the AI as we have them now. So they already had the automations, just in a different way,
So you had
at
to write
the time.
the emails ahead and
Oh,
then schedule them.
yes, yeah. You just, yeah, exactly. You write the emails, schedule them, have you have to use certain systems to send them, so at intervals, and not to too many people, so you don't ruin your deliverability. So you had to have all of those tactics and all those systems in place to make sure that you have maybe different, so it's like rotating your domains, so you don't have one domain where you used to send all your cold emails, because cold emails are unsolicited. The once you have a lot of people opting out and a lot of people saying that your emails are spam, those email companies will start blacklisting you, and then you have low deliverability, so your emails won't be getting into the inbox. They will be staying in the spam folder, and that's not what you want. You want your emails to land in inboxes. So there's also something called warm up. You have to warm up um your email system, so that your domain, and so that once you send out those emails, the email is trusted. After setting up all your DKIM or DMARC or all those SPF records, you have to use all those tactics to make sure that your emails are delivering. So those are some of the things I learned at that time, because I tried to set up the email system for that guy, and was very helpful too for my business. I didn't get any clients from cold emailing. I'll be honest about that, but at least he got clients. And I think the problem that I had was my cold emails were not, they were not um I think they were not well focused to my particular clients. I didn't have like a client in mind that I was sending my emails. I was just
There was no
broadcasting. Yeah,
there was no what they call it, classifying. You didn't have them qualified
yeah. I didn't have any
for
persona in
tagging.
my mind
Yeah.
when I was just scraping leads from Google, and then cleaning them up. Cleaning up the validating the emails. That's what it's called. I validating the emails, and then just doing like a broadcast advertising my freelancing services to people who I did not know whether they needed those services or not. Yeah, so I was saying with the cold emails, I didn't have a lot of success, but I will still try it again in my future businesses because now I understand what went wrong and what I didn't do right at that time. So I feel like it's still a very cheap way to do outreaches and to do client acquisition without breaking the bank, especially if you're just starting out and you don't have a lot of money to employ, sales and marketing guys. I feel like cold emails might actually help, But yeah, so I was offering all the services, and then I just said, okay, maybe I could actually be an executive virtual assistant, not your average virtual assistant, in that I have more skills than an average virtual assistant, but
Yeah.
then I also want to be able to cater to a lot of clients because I love working with businesses. Honestly, that's the thing I found out that I love doing the most. I love working with businesses, startups, people that are just starting out. Because I had a client from a startup who actually invested in me and believed in me, and um, even sometimes he just pays me, to go research things that he figured he needed, but he wouldn't be able to research himself. Just paid me to go do the research, and whether I came back with results or not, even if I come back and say, look, I didn't find anything on this thing you asked me to research, he will just be like, okay, okay, great, let's try
Which
this
country
other
is that
angle.
guy from?
He's an American. He's an American. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's an American.
American
David.
just had to be friends.
Shout out to him. Shout out to him, David. So
Um,
yeah, he really he invested a lot, because at the time he had hired me, he hired me for the AI part of the business, right? He hired me to work with ChatGPT because at that time I was offering services to help you proofread your ChatGPT output. So because that time ChatGPT really sucked. It still kind of sucks, but but
really?
at that time it was really bad that people just knew this was AI, generated content, or whatever you
Okay,
put
okay,
out.
I
Because
get.
if somebody sends you an email, for example, it just says, hope this message finds you well, you just go, oh my god, another AI message.
Yeah,
Please.
you had to rework. You had to do a lot of reworking.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. So you had to make it slightly less robotic,
Yeah,
because a lot of the things were, the thing is, people forget so soon how bad these LLMs were when they were so good, but yet so bad. I don't know if you get what I mean. Like,
yeah.
they are so much better now than when it first came out. Like
They're actually
those
really improving fast.
2 years ago, 2 years. We're talking 2 years ago now, not, or let's say, yeah, slightly more than 2 years. It was
Yeah,
so.
for technology that is arguably new,
Yeah, it's so good
um,
now. It's so good because then you give it something, it will be saying another thing, and if you are careless, it will hallucinate a lot of jargon into your work. And if you depend on it too much, anybody that takes 5 minutes to pay attention to whatever you have written or generated will just be like, I know where you got this from. You know, I know it. This is absolute trash. So that was what he hired me for at that time to, help him with research into AI. And then we said we started doing how to leverage AI for business. That was so also very interesting. We said then he decided that he was going to stay on the OpenAI. He was going to stay with OpenAI. That's leverage all his business on the
Um,
OpenAI ecosystem. So to stay on the
that's
OpenAI ecosystem and build on whatever OpenAI is building, because what we observed at that time was that OpenAI was going to kill every other business that
every other
decides.
AI
Huh?
because they were releasing everything as features.
Yes, they will kill every other startup that is engaged in anything similar to what they were doing. So even if you are building a wrapper or an OpenAI wrapper, like you building on using just OpenAI APIs to do certain front end things and offer it as a B2C solution to your client, it was going to be difficult for you to stay competitive because OpenAI tomorrow will just decide to offer that thing.
Yeah.
Remember, let me give you a classic example. These PDF readers that we have now. Like now, you can just upload your PDF directly to ChatGPT or any of the AIs. When ChatGPT first came out, it was just text. So you just only text and say, "I need this, I need that," and then it responds to you. So people used OpenAI's GPT to start, then combining it with something called.
Creating stuff.
Sorry.
They started using ChatGPT's API to create stuff.
Yeah. So they started using, in this specific case, they were using it to create PDF readers. So they used it in conjunction with like OCR. I don't know if you know what OCR is, but it's like
You know.
you upload like a picture and then it can read texts off the picture. It can detect text. So it's
Yeah.
like a machine learning algo. It can detect those texts, and then once it reads those texts, it can tell you, okay, this is what is on the picture, right? So they started using OpenAI with those OCRs to do PDF readers so that you can upload your PDF document and then it can tell you the text, summarize that text, and give you whatever output you ask in your prompt. That was what people were doing. So they had a whole business model that was just PDF readers. So you can upload your PDF, it will summarize it, all those kind of things. OpenAI sat down one day and said, okay, let's just put document uploading, let's add document uploading to our GPTs, our chat GPT. Next thing, they just added it. Boom. That business died. Everyone that had that startup, everyone that involved themselves in that innovation, boom,
Man,
killed
it's actually
immediately. you know, and I
this
can give you,
world of startup,
yeah.
man. It's very because something like that would have happened to us when we're thinking of doing our second startup.
Oh yeah,
We had two ideas we're playing around. One is in VR. The second
yeah.
one was so my wife at the time when we're dating, she was thinking about traveling for school. And
Mm-hmm.
even if she had the money to pay the fees,
Yeah.
it was a challenge getting FX to pay for it,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We
Mm-hmm.
started thinking around crypto,
Okay.
getting people to pay us naira or any other African currency, and then
Mm-hmm.
we'll convert it to USDT,
Oh
and then
yeah.
use USDT to pay the institution. Like just
Mm-hmm.
USDT is you can easily just convert that to USD,
Yeah,
right?
USD
Pay
and
the
yeah.
institution. And we eventually settled for after weighing the pros and cons. We eventually settled for the VR startup.
Oh yeah, because legislation would have killed
It's
your
not even
start.
legislation. I mean, legislation was part of the reasons why we
Yeah,
didn't pursue it because we would have needed a lot of a high network and money to
yeah, because
do
it's
it.
fintech now. It's
It's
fintech.
fintech.
Yeah,
But
you
what
need. Yeah. Go on.
But less than 12 months after, Flutterwave released our entire business as a feature. In my
Exactly.
mind, I was like, how would we have competed with a $3 billion startup? A
Yeah, it's
feature.
impossible. It's impossible. Yeah, so that's the that, those were the issues that people that try to venture into AI, to do startups in AI. Those were some of the issues that they had because you don't know what OpenAI is going to do next. They just come up with some crazy things, and you're just like, okay, but I was thinking of this now. Why are you guys releasing it now? So
And
he
they are not
decided
done. Those guys are
they're not
not
done.
done.
Oh, they're not done. They're not done. I just get it started. So and he decided, okay, you know what? Let's not run away from the inevitable because after a lot of research, we decided, let's stay on OpenAI ecosystem and actually just build things on their ecosystem, but would add the human factor to it. So because a lot of people, as much as, and that was what you said in the beginning when we were talking, you said there are just things that people would not use AI for, and some of those things will include things that need the human touch. So you gave an example of, for example, making a sale, a huge sale of maybe $100 million, $100,000. All of those kind of things would not happen with just AI in the mix. People will want to talk to people because some of those
Mm,
deals are done just based off of relationships, based off of trust. So
yeah.
people want to talk to people. People want to have a handshake. People want to have conversations before those kind of deals are done. And as much as AI will facilitate those things happening, it will still need that human touch. And that was the direction that we went. We decided, okay, let's stay with OpenAI, but then we'll build. So he had we when custom GPTs came out. I don't know if you know what the cost about the custom GPTs, so that you can have your own um, quote unquote trained AI chatbot on your own data.
Data.
So yeah, on your own specific data and use case, you can have your chatbot with like, and you can even use your own API to connect. You can have your own API on that chatbot. That's what they did with custom GPTs.
Mm.
So we had 60 plus custom GPTs trained with specific data, but this time it was not like your data, it was like our data to help you have better communication with your custom GPT. So say for example it's a marketing GPT, it will be for a marketer, but you already
Yeah.
have all the building blocks to create, for example, like a competitive analysis of another business. So you just need to put in two business names and say, give me a competitive analysis, which is something that low key ChatGPT can do, but the report might not be well formatted to industry standards, for example. So industry standards were pre-coded into the GPTs that we had at that point. So yes, so that was basically what he did. Let me not expose too much of my client. He's still my client. So he's still my client. We're still working. So and we building slowly, and I like his approach because OpenAI is not cleaning him out at all. He has chosen this target market of individuals that are not even that, tech savvy, but they are still interested in riding the wave. So they're like, you know, they're not they're not early adopters per se. They're just like they're interested, they're curious about and they want to use it for personal growth, for ikigai, finding purpose. Those are the things that they are using AI for. And honestly, for me, that was never in my purview, in my mindset, that you can use um AI in this way, because he said using it because when OpenAI released the that audio thing, where you could talk to the chatbot and then get responses. Um, it opened up a new wave that he even started. Um, I hope I'm not divulging company secrets, but he started this thing where he has a summit or like a seminar where he brings and it's virtual. He brings together all these people and then they speak to the chatbot about their future, about their purpose in life, about and then they all have this quote unquote spiritual experience. I'm telling you, it's insane, but this thing is actual business where these guys are paying $2,000 to $3,000 just to be on that summit. You know, they're paying 200, $300 for like one class,
Wait,
of this
does
summit.
AI teach them?
So the AI, so he, so
You know
let's
what?
just say it's
Can
advanced.
you reduce
Hmm?
the volume? Actually,
Okay, so I think I'll just call it advanced prompt engineering. So you know how you want to tell the AI something, and it gives you it gives you a result for what you've said, but then someone else tells it more specifically how to produce the exact result that you want.
yeah,
So that's what he was
it's
doing.
about
So
giving more context.
more better, yeah, so he was just giving better prompts, and that
Yeah,
was what they were. So they can say, for example, I need to help you, I need you to help me find my ikigai, to help me check what would be my purpose in life, because I'm interested in this. But then when he does it, he brings he gives the AI just better prompts, that the results are just so mind-blowing, and those people are like, but I asked ChatGPT the same question, but he gave me this, and now you are doing this. Wow, so amazing! And these people, they are not like 20 or 21, so they are not really. So they are, the thing freaks them out. Like wow, 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 So and they do it in like a group coaching. They call it a group coaching. Thank you. Yeah. So they call it group coaching. They hop on that thing for like 2 hours. They're having conversations, and some of them are genuinely scared of AI. There's a genuine um pessimism about the technology, like, oh, one day this thing will just turn on us and kill us all. I better not put
really.
my
Well,
yeah.
why do you have pessimism? Me, I have FOMO. Like I want to be part of the
Yeah,
people making money
that's
from
you now.
it.
That's you. You're young, you're forward thinking, you are happy to embrace new ideas, new technology. But some of these people are more middle age, 40, 50-year olds. They are senior people in their careers, but maybe not necessarily working directly with technology. And some of them work with technology, but on a very what's the word, on a very small scale. So they're not
Coding
big.
skills.
Yeah, they're not big on like, oh, even when they want to do data analytics, they are using their eye to look at all the graphs and to
Yeah.
see the trends and everything. So they're not like extremely bullish on the technology. They're just like, this thing is dangerous. Even with, like, I heard somebody talking about how um they were scared that that the AI that improves your picture, where you
Yeah.
upload a picture and then it just cleans it up, just makes it so much better. Your
Yeah.
headshot photos, and others. It was like, oh, they are stealing your facial content and they are going to use it to track you in the end time,
Really.
when they, when the Antichrist comes. you
But
know.
what does it matter? You wouldn't be able to stop it.
So that they are using it to do all those things. So those are some of the concerns that people have. And it's funny because everyone thinks everyone is just so happy to be in this era and using this technology, but it's not true. There's so many people that are like, I feel like this thing is going to steal my destiny. you know and because of that, they are so limited in like researching about stuff and knowing about things. And yeah, I've been talking for too long. Yeah. What questions do you have for me?
Okay. So we've already our conversation has already gone through almost everything that
Great.
I wanted us to talk about. Your transition from medicine to
Yeah.
yeah, and you've already told us that story. But there's one thing I want to get now. But based on your experience with engineering and
Yeah.
AI generally,
Mm-hmm.
you already mentioned that you kind of build your projects around the OpenAI ecosystem.
Yeah.
What do you think about DeepSeek?
Oh yeah. DeepSeek. DeepSeek has been hot in the past few weeks, should I say, few days. So yeah, I think it's good for the whole AI ecosystem. The AI ecosystem as a whole is great that we have DeepSeek to actually just
Compete?
check check the excesses of OpenAI because, and I say excesses while using the term
Because of their
very,
pride.
yeah, very. I'm using the term quite excessively because you can say maybe Sam Altman has done no wrong. He's just a guy trying to, help or mix. But the thing is, let me give a background to why I'm not a big fan of OpenAI, even though I use the technology and we use technology in our business and everything. But I also use other AI technologies. But here's the context: the whole war between Elon um, and Sam, because Elon claims that OpenAI is no longer open, and the whole idea was to make it open. And honestly, I agree with Elon because the thing that has driven technology to where it is today is open source. Open source
Yeah.
is the reason why we have been able to have
The
access to so much knowledge, even the AI data that they trained, all the data that they used to train all of the models
It's
before
arguably
this.
free.
Sorry.
I said it's arguably free.
Yeah, most of the data is open source, is free somehow, even the ones that were not free, they kind of stole them from. But let's
Yeah.
not get into that. So
Yeah.
but the point is, we are where we are because of open source. Open source has been amazing. People that have dedicated their lives um to putting out so much knowledge and so much data and so much, research, and then they say, hey, listen, this is what I know, this is how I know it, and this is what you can do with it. Because without open source, honestly, science will be dead by now, technology will be dead. But
Mm.
it's because of open source that we are able to be here. And for you to start a company and people invested money and people said, okay, this thing you are going to do is will be good for it will be great for for humanity. Can you make it open so that everyone will use it? And you said yes. Okay, let's make it open. Even in the beginning, it was open, so it was not exactly open source, but it was supposed to be free or non-profit, at least non-profit. So non-profit, even if it's not free, it means that you charge just enough to be able to cover costs. So you are not trying to charge so that you can, you know, um, live large and enjoy life, personally, on a personal level, or be one of those CEOs of one of those Fortune 500 companies. No, that was never the plan. Plan was to make it as cost effective as possible. And but you see what OpenAI is doing now with all of the pricing plans and the
Up to
um
$200.
yeah, it's up to $200 for this deep. Is it 003 mini that they have now, or deep search? I don't even know what they're calling it. Different names for just slightly better models. And what I've observed is that with all of these releases, they are going to have just marginal improvements on all of them, but a, a substantial hike in pricing. So what DeepSeek has gone and done for us is to help OpenAI see
Destroy the
that,
table.
uh,
Destroy the table.
yes, to help them see that, look, this thing that you are claiming, because they always justify the
Yeah.
pricing of their models with the cost of the GPUs that they are using, the cloud payments they are making, all the servers and everything, the cost is usually how they justify it. Say,
Oh, he
oh,
said that they will need $6 billion to
yes,
make huge. How did he put
exactly.
it?
To train, yeah, for data, for training the data, for training the AI on the data that they have, and all of those things. But the thing is that uh, what DeepSeek did was to use a fraction of that cost to train their
A
own.
fraction of understating it.
Yeah, so to train their own AI, and then have it open sourced so you can see everything. So I know people will complain about privacy and everything, but you can just download the DeepSeek and run it on your own server. So it's not connected to the Chinese DeepSeek that you are getting from the browser when you
Yeah.
go to deepseek.com. So you can run it locally. Nobody's taking your data at that point. You can fine tune it so that it's not um, all those what's the propaganda with the Communist Party, the Chinese Communist Party, and everything. Because people claim that when I've never really tested because I don't really care for that kind of stuff. But people claim, okay, so people claim that the Chinese have put in some propaganda into the AI so that it doesn't answer questions about China, Taiwan, and all those kind of things. I don't really care, but for people who need those kind of things, you can fine tune the data. Everything's open source. Just download it if you have enough RAM or enough computer power or GPU to run it. Go ahead and run it for yourself. So there's no issue with that stuff, and the API is so much cheaper than OpenAI APIs for doing almost the same thing, for getting almost the same results. So there's no marginal difference between using the OpenAI API or using the DeepSeek API for I think 30 times cheaper. So your cost for building applications, for example, or building small simple projects with the APIs are just so much cheaper with DeepSeek than with. And honestly, I can't remember the last time I used ChatGPT for coding, because it has always sucked with coding. It doesn't know how to code for shit. It doesn't know how to code. I'm serious. Anyone that has time should test the difference between Claude. I don't know if you know of Claude AI, and the ChatGPT. Just
There's one I just discovered, Bolt.new.
okay, Bolt. No, Bolt is more front end designs and front end coding and all this.
Oh,
But I'm even talking specifically about LLMs now. This
okay.
Bolt is more like it also has IDE. You know how Visual Studio Code is. It has it inbuilt. So Bolt has inbuilt IDE, has the LLM. So you can use, for example, um, OpenAI API, DeepSeek API, or Claude API to code on Bolt. I don't know if that makes sense. You can use it with Bolt to
Oh,
code
oh,
stuff.
that's cool.
Yeah. So I was saying that the ChatGPT and its whole system are so bad with coding that Claude, for example, just beats ChatGPT in terms of the code structure, execution. At the end of the day, you want to have a code that works.
But
So
you're not talking about the free version of ChatGPT, right?
no, no, I'm not. I'm talking about 4.0, for example, or 0.01
Really?
mini, 0.1 mini, for example. You know, things those. So you can do this for yourself. Actually, you can do a small experiment. Just say, just take a picture, right? Take a screenshot. Oh, you probably don't have Claude. I wish you had them, because I had
Really?
both. So you can just take a picture, just take a screenshot of a picture
Called
and give
AI.
it to both Claude, yeah, yeah, Claud D
UDE. Seen it.
UDE, yeah. Dot AI, yeah. So just take a screenshot of a picture and give it to both of them and tell them to code it for you, to write a code. Claude will even run that UI in browser. Like you can see that he's writing the code and what the output will be. It has React. It will write everything for you, and you will see that okay, this is a copy of what I just ran. Now run the same thing, and that's something similar that Bolt.new does. Uh, Bolt
Yeah.
does it.
I ran into an issue with boats when I was trying to build something.
Okay. Yeah,
It
you can
started
just ask it
saying
to self
I
correct.
asked it to make some improvements to what we had
Mm,
already built, and
yeah.
then it just started saying it had run into errors. And because I don't have coding skills, right, I
Yeah.
couldn't even trace
Figure out what the error
figure out
is.
what was wrong.
Okay, then again, what you can do is to ask just another LLM how to fix this error. So you take a screenshot of that error and put in another LLM and describe what's going on. Say, I'm on bold.new. I tried to do this, blah blah blah,
Entrant.
and I ran into this error. Can you fix this error? It's going to tell the solution. So that's something that Claude does really well. Claude can you can get a whole um you can get a perfect response from one prompt, and that's what we are aiming to do now. Less iteration with like, oh, correcting the code. Okay, can you make this smaller, can you make this bigger? So why am I now using LLM if I have to be saying it's taking me 1-2 hours to develop something that in one prompt I can do on Claude? And that's the
Hmm.
problem that I had with ChatGPT. ChatGPT just doesn't cut it. Like they've tried with they, I think maybe they write, but even with conversational writing, right? Because we try to get these AIs to be as conversational as possible. Claude even does better, because I find that clients respond better when I use Claude for my proposals than with ChatGPT. ChatGPT still sounds robotic. Claude even it has more. I know that prompting is also very important, right? With like
It seems like
how,
I'm the one that is just not exploring enough.
yeah,
Because
you
when
have to
having
explore some of
conversations
them.
about AI, I realized that a lot of people are using several other
Yeah, you have to
platforms.
explore them. So, and there's perplexity too. Perplexity can help you use all of some of the popular AIs from one dashboard. So, for example, if you're paying for ChatGPT, instead of paying for ChatGPT, you can pay for Perplexity and have Claude and ChatGPT in one place. So Perplexity allows you to pick a model, but you pay $20 instead of paying $20 to ChatGPT. You just pay the $20, and you have, for example, I use Perplexity, right? And I pay $20 and I get Flux. Flux is the new image generation AI. I think is one of the best, especially let's call it your DeepSeek, but for image generation. So their API is also very cheap, but they do
Flux,
very well with image generation.
Flux AI.
Yeah, but you can't use it in browser. You have to use it on Hugging Face or in, for example, Perplexity. You can use it on Hugging Face for free. Maybe I'll send you a link after this.
Thank you.
Uh, on Hugging Face, you log in, you can find Flux. It has different models, but I think the Chanel model is the best. Is the latest and the best. So Flux allows you to produce very real images from prompts, and you can access Flux on Perplexity. So you see, you can do LLMs. So you can access Claude on Perplexity. You can access ChatGPT, even the O3. The latest one is O3 Deep Search, right? Um, you can access that ChatGPT O3 on Perplexity. You can access DeepSeek. You can use DeepSeek hosted in America, not DeepSeek, the one on your, not DeepSeek that everybody's scared of because it's from China. DeepSeek hosted in America. You can access it on Perplexity. So you have all those LLMs, you can switch between them. And then the best thing about Perplexity that people under it is web search. It has so much better web search than ChatGPT. I've just named at least 2 or 3
Man,
AIs that are better
I
than
feel like I have not even started. I don't even know these things.
OpenAI's
Ah,
ChatGPT. You know that ChatGPT just introduced search, right? Like a few weeks ago, they just brought in search. Um, I think maybe a bit more than a month now. You know, you can turn on search, but Perplexity has had search since I don't know, a year now, for
but
like a year now, and
I think to
it's
myself, what is the search for? I see
okay.
search.
Yeah, it's web search. It's web search. So you go like, so you know that when OpenAI, when ChatGPT came out, they didn't have the ability to search the web. So it will tell you that time that my knowledge cuts off at August 2022 or
Yeah,
July 20.
yeah. I actually even forget these things, but I use it every day.
Yeah, so that's the evolution now. That's over time now. Then they
You
start
know, I've
updating the
actually
knowledge
used
base.
used. I don't notice these updates like the search you just
Yeah,
mentioned now. Maybe the voice
yeah.
recording.
Oh
But
yeah, that updates.
I'll drop a link and I'll tell it, go on this link and look at this and look at this. And what do you
Okay,
think?
cool. Excellent, excellent. So when it first came out, right, it didn't have the ability to search links. It will even tell you that I cannot search this link. I can't see what's in this link, or it will hallucinate something for you. It will just give you one random stat or one random
Yeah,
fact
it's
about
even
the
not even
link.
perfect. Sometimes you send it
Exactly,
about
but
one event, it is talking to you about another event because it's trying to make out from the link what the event is.
exactly. So it gives you all those hallucinations. Even that time, if you're maybe writing something academic, it will go and spit out what's it called? References from somewhere that does not exist. If you click the link, it will carry you to 404 error.
I
All of
noticed
those
that. So
things.
I'll tell it,
Yeah. It was just lying.
show me the links to your source. Then it will now
It
say
had
I'm
no source.
studying.
My brother, it had no source. It was just lying. So those
You know when I
hallucinations.
first noticed this thing, I
Yeah.
created a pitch deck to send to an investor. We're about to pitch. We're
Yeah.
not like maybe the third round or something or third stage.
Yeah.
Then at maybe 2 a.m., I just got an email from the guy saying,
Your
I
link
would like to
doesn't
know
work.
the source of this your statistics that I gave. I come out and say, where did I get this thing? And I remembered, oh, GPT suggested something. And I asked, so I went back to the chat and asked GPT, what's your source for this? The response weak me like, what the hell?
Exactly. Exactly. So those were the issues that ChatGPT had at that time. They didn't have search, but then by then Perplexity had search. But the only problem is that they didn't have like uploading image, connecting your documents, uploading your documents and analyzing documents, all of those things. But they had search. They have always had search. So and their search is so good that it's so much better now with the reasoning models. You know that I think the reasoning model started with 4.0. So like the AI has ability to produce better results by iterating through and thinking through what you have asked it, so what you have prompted it. So it's not just normal, okay, you give it prompt, it spits out the prompt. This time it goes step by step, and you can even follow the reasoning process of the AI. So those are the reasoning models. So what happens now with search, why it's so much better, is that reasoning is better. So actual search queries are better with these models. So when you search for something, you are getting the best and the most updated information as far as the internet goes at that moment in time. So let's say you want to do even a coding project, for example,
Not just
and
about
you
training data.
no, it's not just about training data this time. It's about, like, it's so updated that, okay, let's say you want to build a project now. You can find the most recent open source free resource to use in this moment in time. So you're not just going off what they've trained it to say from like 2000 and
Yeah.
2024, 2023. You know what's happening right now, this in this moment in time, and who, if in fact, you can even search like a tweet from somebody that says, oh, I just released this model. For example, Mistral is also big with open source. They are another AI company, but they are just open source. They are not selling anything. The only thing is that maybe you pay for their APIs, but they don't have a front end, so it's difficult to use. But you can also use them on Hugging Face if you want. So, for example, if Mistral drops a model right now, I can search on Perplexity and find that model and use it in one of my coding projects. So it's that's why Perplexity is so good. I'm sounding like a Perplexity salesperson, but I'm not. I really am not. I've used it. I'm so impressed with it, and then it gives you really current sources. So whatever you search for, it's going to find it for you, and
Hmm.
so yeah, so all those open source things, and we're talking about DeepSeek. That's why we came into this open source
Yeah.
conversation. So that's what I appreciate so much about DeepSeek and helping OpenAI to see that you need to stop slowing and slacking, because you started slacking since you blew our minds with 3.5. No marginal change has happened apart from the fact that you're adding features here and there, allowing us to connect to Google Drive, which is great, awesome, thank you very much. But we need more. We need agents. You promised us agent. All we are saying, these are not agents. The reasoning models are close to agents, but they're not agents. Even the operator that OpenAI said they released, the operator, we have better operators. Even Claude did better operators than they call it something else, but they are better than the ChatGPT one. So Sam Altman needs to get his shit together and do
I
something.
feel like they can do better, but
They can, they can, they are
they
not.
assume we are the only ones in this game, or we are the biggest in the game, so we can slow
Did
down.
you not
So
see?
that we have
Did you?
updates to roll out
Yes.
in the future.
Did you not see how uh, this deep search one came out immediately after DeepSeek? And this is like the best thing they've done in a while. This deep search that they just released is actually good, but they only did it because DeepSeek threatened their life, sort of, more or less. I'm sure because they just released O1, the O1 model. Next thing they're on
Yeah.
O3, and they are quickly trying to release more features and stuff, because DeepSeek really made them have a rethink. But what's funny, and this was an interesting fact that my client raised. He was like, there's always a clause with these Chinese people. I'm sorry to mention the name
Of course
of
not.
the country, but that the day that he was about to release this DeepSeek model, he had shot the stocks for Nvidia. He shorted the stocks for Nvidia and then released the model.
You know what I heard?
He made a
I heard.
ton of money.
You know the gist I heard
What
when
did you hear?
I was in London on Friday for an
Yeah,
email event, and somebody told me that DeepSeek is financed by Americans,
possibly.
funded by Americans. That it is just the money bags who
Oh,
wanted to cash out.
the VCs in America, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
who
yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
cash out of Nvidia and bet
Mhm.
against it.
Yeah, he bet a lot of money against
And
Nvidia.
they said Nvidia is going to go back, but they've cashed out already.
Hmm.
And in my mind, I'm like, so everybody,
Yeah, that's what they did though with that release. That it's open source, but a lot of people paid. Like Nvidia paid with their blood for DeepSeek, unfortunately, because everybody that owns
but it
stocks
doesn't
Nvidia,
necessarily affect their revenues anyway.
no, no,
And
no,
from
but
what we're
it's
hearing,
it's shareholders now.
train their models on Nvidia chips.
Yeah, is stock is shareholders that are that are suffering, not Nvidia themselves.
Retail traders, now then we were the ones. Oh yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it was a crazy time, but that whole thing, the whole drama behind it, I was just like, is there a point where these guys will do something without drama? Just release the model, let's all enjoy, without all this drama. But yeah, so, and that further drives the lack of trust in these kind of um, open source models and all of those kinds of things, because if you really playing that kind of game, but at the end of the day, well, all is fair in love and war. So I guess it's war between China and US, and every opportunity they get, they take to get one in each other's face. So yeah, so it's really very interesting. The cost, I think it will drive down the cost of AI in general, and we can see that companies are really taking the initiative. Even though Sam Altman was boasting that you can try, but I don't think anyone would ever you know build something close to what we've
He,
done.
he assumes that he has an autonomy on being genius.
Yeah. But even his genius has left him now. Well, Ilya
Yeah.
Suskaya, was that his name? He too has left OpenAI. A lot of controversy behind the company and everything. So, but I'm still bullish on them. I feel like they are the ones that will still keep on pioneering things, and people will just build on their
He should
ideas.
have
And
just strive to be the Google.
yeah, they should have still made it open source, honestly. Like, they should have kept it open source. Let's
I,
see
I
what's behind
actually
the code.
assumed that it would replace Google like permanently.
Yeah, Perplexity has replaced Google for me, honestly. I don't even Google search anything more. Oh, I must give honorable mention to Copilot, Microsoft. Hmm. This
Copilot.
guy,
My
yeah,
wife
Microsoft.
complains about Copilot. She said they are slow.
Or maybe she's using what's she using Copilot for? But I'm using it as a browser, like a
Data
browser
analytics.
extension for
Oh,
search.
browser extension.
For search.
Hmm.
I wish this was video. I would have shared my screen with you. But yeah, they the companion, Copilot companion on your either your browser or your Edge browser. It's on Edge browser. You can use it for search. It has a very good AI for search, and it's very efficient and very accurate.
Copilot, that's different from Gemini.
No, Gemini sucks. I'm sorry, Google, but you guys need to do better. Although for developers, you can, if you don't have a lot of money, you can use Gemini to start stuff. So they have a free tier for their API. It's a really good API. So you can use their free tier, the free tier for their API to start your projects, and test things, run things, and that kind of thing. But there are better search engines, better search engine LLMs than Google Gemini. No, Gemini, I don't like Gemini. I
I
tried so
thought
many.
I would be able to build something by myself without coding skills at all. But I don't
Yeah,
think AI has gotten there yet.
you just need patience and time. What you can do is to I don't think it's an AI problem. I think it's a chat GPT. You're using chat GPT, Abby. You're
No, I was
using
trying to use both don't need.
okay, but on Bolt, do you have an API on Bolt? You need
No.
an API, yeah. Bolt.me. I think you need an API from one of the companies. Maybe that's why. Yeah, you need to put in, and I think they charge per. Let's see, is it free?
Well, the free one is close to nothing. By the time you
Uh,
do put one or two
yeah,
prompts,
we just yeah, it would have exhausted your whatever.
and these things
So
are maybe
your
$20
tokens would have
to
been
start.
finished. Your tokens would have been exhausted. Let's see.
Yeah.
But there's a completely free one. I'll send you after the chat.
Okay.
So you can test it out. I'll send you my API too. I pay for DeepSeek API. So you can
You are
test
already
it.
on DeepSeek. You are
No,
already
I was on
DeepSeek.
DeepSeek on day one, bro. I was, I searched. Did you not see my search history? It was like I've been using DeepSeek for like a month.
Man.
I've been on DeepSeek. I've been on DeepSeek, and I have their API, so I use it to do some coding. But it was just for testing anyway. It was not because I
And it's
prefer
still
my
it's
Claude.
still completely free.
The API, no, it's not free. It's cheap. It's just cheap. It's not free. So you can build like a whole project with like $1, or I say $1, or $2. If you have a complicated back end or something, you can build for like $2. So
Easily.
yeah, yeah, exactly. You just combine DeepSeek with me. I think it's called, is it Bolt.dev or one of the, I forget the name of the app. I was using it, but I stopped coding for some days now. So let me see.
Oh
Uh,
boy,
let's see.
interesting time. Well, it's a very nice time to be alive, and
Yeah,
I'm
it
really
is.
excited
It
to
is.
see what how
It's so
life
much
will
fun.
be different because of AI.
Yeah, so my life has definitely been different because some of the things I know now, I would never have learned without without having an AI assistant to treat me. I would
Oh
never have
well.
learned. But
So
I'll
to
share some of those things with you after, and then we
definitely,
can do
I'm going
another
to bug you
episode.
right after if you don't remember.
Yeah, text me, text me.
Okay, so
Yeah,
for closing remarks, I would
yeah.
like you to. I mean, your story is book worthy. Medicine to AI engineer. Now, I'm not even sure which one they call prompt engineer. I think prompt engineer is just
Yeah, just prompting. It's dead now. It's dead.
prompting.
Nobody needs a prompt
But
engineer
they like to
anymore.
create names out of the moon.
Yeah, because we all thought that that would be the future at that time.
Oh well.
Yeah,
So
they
I'd
killed
just like
them.
you to give some nuggets or a nugget for anyone who is thinking about AI and how to get into AI, or maybe just have a career change. Because I think it's a very big deal that you switched from medicine to
Yeah,
engineering and
yeah,
literally almost self-taught. I mean, practically
yeah. So
self-taught.
self-taught to hours of tutorials and
Rabbit hole.
courses. I'm telling you, lots of them. Yeah, I think the key thing will be for you to just start. Like, don't waste time thinking, oh, how will I do? What will be the plan? Well, how will I navigate this or navigate that? Just start. Look for whatever it is you are trying to find. That's why it's even good that the path, especially if you want to move into this AI field or engineering field, these most of these LLMs are resources already themselves. You can just ask, I want to become an engineer. I have a background in medicine. How do I start this? I know nothing. You will literally be able to get a plan of action, and then it can even give you links for resources, things to do first, your first step, the first thing you need to know, the prerequisite knowledge you need to have, so that you're not even just roaming in the dark and looking for answers. You already have a pathway, and then next thing will be YouTube. If you like to learn through visuals, and through learning through video and audio, YouTube is great. Go to YouTube, learn a lot of things. Don't pay for a course yet. Relax, calm down. Free resources first. Use up all the free stuff.
Exhaustive.
Build projects. Most importantly, build projects. Build things, real life things for yourself, for your business, for others. Build. And yeah, that's all. From there, everything will become clearer to you as you build, as you move. Yeah.
Man, thank you for such an inspirational.
Thank
This
you, Jeff, for having me. Thank you, Jeff, for having me.
I
I'm,
realized that
I'm
I've not
really
even started.
excited.
I never
Yeah, I'm,
start.
I'm really excited, man, about what the future holds. I'm really excited. I'm building a lot of things, building every day, and yeah, it's so much fun. It's so much fun.
All right then. To my listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, please share with your friends or whoever you think would be interested in hearing this. And I'll be open to your feedback. drop a comment or send me an email. Thank you. Until next episode.